and welcome back to my channel. I'm Deziel and today I'm back with the raised neck because I'm going to show you how to assemble it. Now as you can see, I'm using the pattern that I did for the knit raised neck, but I decided to cut it doing a dolman sleeve. So I combined my two patterns, and in fact from this pattern I did with you, I only kept the neck part because my goal is to show you how to assemble this raised neck finishing. Now the first thing that I must do is to place both of my pieces, so my front and my back, face to face. Now as you can imagine, this is a dolman top, quite long with the raised necks, so they are huge pieces. But still I'm going to show you the sewing steps. And the first one consists in 4 seams. You're going to sew from the bottom of the top, the side seam, all the way to the wrist. Then you're going to sew the top of the sleeve, so from the wrist, continuing all the way to the top of the neck. And you're going to do the same 2 seams on the other sides. From the neck, top of the neck, all the way to the wrist. Then the wrist, all the way to the bottom of the top. Ready to try on. We just have the finishing left to do. About the finishing at the wrist and at the bottom of the top, you could do as usual overlock with 3 thread overlock. Since this exercise is pretty fast and easy to do, I'm going to give you some little trick for sewing and finishing. When you want your overlock to stay straight and you're sewing in a circular area like I did for the bottom, I suggest you raise the foot and you go place it under straight. Then I'm going to sew in circle, even come back and sew a few stitches over the beginning. Once you're sure that you did a few stitches over the beginning, you're going to lift the foot and pull the garment bias or square like that and do a few more stitches just to make sure you came out. Now if you look, when I'm going to cut my thread, you'll see that it's completely straight. And then fold the value you want for your hem. Then you could stitch right on the overlock with tiny little stitch, pulling a little bit on your fabric so the finishing will be stretchy. If you don't want to do it with a straight seam, you could also do a zigzag seam. About the finishing or the hemming of the sleeve and the bottom, I hope you noticed that I usually send the seam allowance in opposite direction to eliminate the thickness. On the sleeve, I usually start at the underarm seam, so it's less apparent. For the bottom, it's one of the side seam. And the last thing is that I don't back tack at the beginning or at the end. I simply go over the beginning for a few stitches, like 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter. Now the last finishing, the one at the neck or the raised neck, here on top you could do like you did for the other hem. You could overlock with the 3-thread overlock, but since it's knit, I usually don't do nothing. It's less apparent. So when your finishing is done, if you want it, the next thing to do is to find the notch to fold the self-fold facing. If you can't see it, just refer to your pattern, put a reference, and it will be the same thing on both sides. The next thing, you're going to fold on these notches, both sides, and at the plain machine, you're going to go sew the distance of your facing on both sides. And that's it. This is most probably the fastest top you could sew. Thanks for watching, and I see you soon.